Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here to talk about Taraswrld. She recently got called out and exposed for some really terrible tweets and also a recent TikTok that she did, but I wanted to share my thoughts on all of the things. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys. So Tara has a presence on multiple social media platforms. She is a 23-year-old. I believe she lives in LA, and she has a ton of followers on TikTok at 4.7 million followers. And she is your basic influencer. And I'm not saying that to insult the girl. I'm just saying when you think of your kind of everyday influencer doing influencer type things, that's who she is. To me personally, I don't find her to be funny, educational, relatable. It's just not my thing, you know? She does like walk dogs, which I think is pretty cool. But aside from that, I don't really see the appeal, and that's just kind of my perspective looking at her. I know she's also not, I'm definitely not in her demographic, but yeah, that's a brief synopsis on who she is. But recently she got called out. There's an app called BeReal. She basically got on her TikTok and was complaining about this app BeReal and how her when she logs in, all of her friends are in bed, and it makes her feel really productive and like she's actually doing something with her day because all of her friends are constantly laying around not doing anything. And she was referring to her influencer friends, and she tried to tie it into that Kim Kardashian nobody wants to work these days kind of joke. Like she wanted to make a joke out of Kim Kardashian's little interview that she did. It wasn't funny. Nobody thought it was funny. She got called out for it. And instead of saying, you know what, guys, I should have not made that joke. It didn't land. I get it. I understand why people are upset. I'm sorry. And she could have moved on from that. Instead of doing that, like most influencers do, she ended up doubling down, not taking accountability, and she is still posting, so she's not on like a hiatus or anything, but she just, you know, pretty much dismissed why people were upset and didn't care a whole lot.
Does anybody have a job? Does anyone work? I swear to God, this BeReal shit, like I like get shit on myself all the time, even though I'm the most productive person ever. Like I'm always doing something. I'm never in bed in the middle of the day. And then I got BeReal, and this BeReal could go off at 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 3, it doesn't matter. Everyone's in bed.
Because of that situation, you know how it goes. Once someone is in hot water, then people start digging, and oh boy. So essentially what people did was, once they started digging on her Twitter and Instagram, they found some really distasteful posts, and I will throw them right here for you guys. But some examples of them are, she basically was talking about obesity and saying, when she got called out, she said, no, I came at people who feed their kids pizza and make their kids obese when it's not the kid's choice. Now, I don't agree with anyone body shaming anyone. I just don't agree with it. I never have. I never will. I stand firm in that stance. I'm not going to change. I don't think that if you have an opinion about the way someone looks physically, their weight, how old they look, how young they look, I just don't think that it needs to be talked about. If you want to talk about someone's actions, the things they do, the things they say, I'm all for it. I'm here for free speech and people having opinions. But I'm just not here for people, instead of saying, oh, I didn't like that you said so-and-so, they talk about the person being overweight or underweight or being, quote, ugly. Not here for it. When I went over to her Instagram, though, this is where things, in my opinion, start to get worse, because they uncovered this photo and her caption says, love Rajiv in the background. And in the background of this image, they're at a restaurant, and there is a man who's a waiter at this restaurant that they were at, and she labels him as Rajiv. So this is just very ignorant, very stupid, very just completely unnecessary, not funny, not quirky or cute. I really just don't understand. For me, you can say, oh, well, so-and-so is young. They don't know. They don't have life experience. I don't think that that's what was happening here. I think that she is just someone who probably never thought that she would become someone with so many eyes on her. She probably never thought that she would have that quote bad joke with the Kim Kardashian thing and people would dig into her old Instagram and Twitter posts. And I just think that she did a better job at hiding it once she got famous. And that's just a speculation, obviously. But she also had this other post on Instagram that said, I don't get how people just let themselves get obese. Like, do you not care about your health? You're gonna die long before everybody else. It's not that hard to get healthy most of the time. Also, if you let your kids get obese and eat trash, like, so she went off again about this body shaming stuff. She obviously doesn't care to even think about health complications, income a lot of times, like, can play into these situations. And that's the thing, and I don't know everything about anything, but I know enough, even when I was 20 years old, I know to not body shame people. And I know to not have a photo of me taken at a restaurant and call the server Rajiv. Like, it's just very ignorant. And even if you're young, I still think that you should know better. And maybe I'm wrong for looking at it like that. But then we get into the last photo. She is wearing blackface. And this is absolutely disgusting. I don't understand in what universe anyone would ever think that this is okay. Whether you are 20, 30, 40, 60, whatever, I don't care. It's not funny. It never was funny. It never will be funny. I think that if you are able to do this action of wearing blackface, I think that you are a piece of trash, and I think that you have zero cares, zero remorse for actually doing it. And I think that people who are okay with doing this and then not only doing it but also excusing their actions are literal pieces of human garbage, and I have a zero tolerance for it. I don't care if it's a 20-year-old girl or a 42-year-old man. Don't care. And people that excuse this kind of stuff are just as bad as the people doing it.
So it was brought to my attention the other day that people were like going through my old Twitter and finding these old tweets. And I saw a few of them the other day, like before I stopped reading comments. I saw the one that I made like about college, and then I saw like one other one. And I was just like, fuck it, I'm not reading the comments anymore. Like, screw this, like whatever, right? Well, I just took a gander at like a few, and I went through like screenshots that people took from my Twitter, and I saw ones that I didn't even know existed. And I'm like horrified. These tweets were from when I was like 16. If I had to describe myself when I was 16, it would be scumbag. Tried to impress everyone that I was around, and I also was surrounded by like pretty awful people. And like making stupid jokes like that was like considered funny in like my like friend group. So I would literally just like bandwagon and like tweet this like these like horrible things. I'm so sorry if anybody that has seen these, if I offended anybody. I don't even remember tweeting those things. Like they're awful. I'm like the most accepting person alive. Like I don't give a fuck. Like as long as you're a good person, that's all I care about. And I've been advocating that for so long. So seeing this like the shit that I used to say on Twitter, like actually breaks my heart. Like I'm like I'm mortified right now. So I just wanted to say sorry for anyone that saw those that like got the fucking ick from me, because I am getting the fattest ick from myself right now. That's like not okay at all. And those do not represent who I am at all. I would never even think those things in my head. Like, why I did back then, no clue. Like, it was literally just to like, I don't know. Like, so I just wanted to pop on here and say sorry and let you guys know that I am mortified of my own actions. Like, I genuinely like have never even thought of those things in my head. Like, that's why I was so confused when I saw my own tweets. I was like, are these even from me? Because I like literally would listen to the things that my scumbag friends were saying and like just say the same thing back. Like, so embarrassing. Oh my God. Like,
so my opinions on this is not that she was a really young person who just didn't care and she never thought that people would come across these, and fame was never on her radar, and I just don't think that she ever thought through it. And I think it's disgusting and foul. Now, the last thing I want to say about this is she's also someone who still aligned herself with James Charles even after all of the admissions and info came out about him talking to young fans, and y'all know the whole James Charles situation. For an influencer to be exposed like James Charles was, and for another influencer to continue to align themselves with James Charles, I think it's because they both have major issues, and the one that is choosing to still align themselves with someone like James is because they are morally bankrupt as well. And I think seeing all of these tweets and Instagram photos and stuff, I think now it all kind of makes sense, at least for me it does. So I don't know what will happen. I don't think that she's gonna like leave the internet or anything like that, but I do think that a lot of people had their eyes open to who she is. And on top of it, what value are these influencers giving to anyone? I truly don't get it. They sit around, they complain all day about having to make TikToks and vlog. Like, they're getting free stuff all the time. They're going on brand trips. They're being recognized for literally doing nothing. I don't know, guys. Like, influencer culture is just obnoxious, and I just don't see the value in most of these influencers as far as putting them up on a pedestal. I don't get it. And especially when stuff like this comes out, how can you continue to support someone like this? And that's just my stance. So wanted to talk to you guys real quick about these things that were brought forth. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. So for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.